I'm Jay, welcome to the workshop, and today we're going to be talking about these Superseal connectors and why you should be using them for your Overland vehicle. So, in short, we're going to quickly discuss what these do, why you should be using them, and lastly, how you actually crimp them onto the end of the cables to achieve that waterproof and dustproof seal. So, what are they? They are a disconnectable plug that you see quite a lot on standard automotive vehicles sometimes. They come in various shapes and sizes, but this is the most popular size I've seen, the shape and size I've seen. These are actually called Superseal, I think the 1.5 millimeter range. The difference in ranges is basically the cable range size. So this one you can use from 0.5 mil up to 1.5 millimeter cross section. The 2.8 series is from 1.25 up to 2.5 I think. So, but these are the most common sizes because that's normally the common size cable that you're going to be using. Basically provide a waterproof and dustproof connection, which is obviously very easily disconnected. So these would be perfect on a wiring loom for a light bar, for example. Or what we're actually using it for here is our rear lights on our bumper, because we want to be able to take our bumper off, but I don't want to be undoing lots and lots of connections. So two of these, well, I've got one three-way here and I've got another four-way to do as well. Two connections, and all the lights, indicators, brake lights, reverse lights, etc. all are disconnected from the vehicle. So up until recently we've been using bullet connectors to do, or spade connectors, to do quite a lot of our removable connections, but they're not the best, even though they are insulated terminals that we use. They're definitely not waterproof, and they are prone to, you know, coming apart. But if you want a secure connection to your 12-volt accessories, you should really be looking into these. They are quite expensive compared to bullet connectors and spade connectors, but in the long term they are worth it. So, that said, we're going to be putting this three-way connector onto a wiring loom I've got to the side of me here, and while I'm going to do that, I'm going to show you how to do it. So let's crack on. So we're going to need a pair of needle nose pliers. You can also buy the proper crimping tool if you want, and we've got a pair of automatic wire strippers, and finally a pair of side cutters. First of all, what we're going to do is we're going to identify the three cables we're going to be using and cut them nice and flush so they're all exactly the same length. This will aid installation later on. Next, we're going to put the little rubber grommets on the end. Make sure that they're fit the right way, so the narrower section of the rubber grommet is facing towards the end of the wire. Next, we're going to take our automatic wire strippers, or just a pair of side cutters if you don't have one, and we need to take off 5 millimeters of the insulation from the end. You don't need a lot of copper wire bare for this for these particular connectors. Actually, the shorter the better, really. Now we've stripped the cable, we're going to slide our rubber grommets to the end of the insulation and apply our crimp connector. At this point, I like to take the needle nose pliers and just bend the tabs around the rubber grommet just to help secure it. I do this if I'm using the needle nose pliers or the actual proper crimp tool. But for this connector, we're going to show you how to use the actual needle nose pliers. So what you're going to do is you're just going to bend these tabs halfway down the connector, one at a time, so one is on top of the other. Again, this isn't the 100% best way of doing it, but if you don't have the tool and you're only doing one connection, it doesn't warrant you buying the tool, this is good enough. So once you've folded the two tabs over each other, just make sure the connection is secured by crimping the whole thing together, and just check that it's all secure on the end of the wire. Next, we're going to show you how to use the actual proper Superseal tool, and again, this is quite expensive, but we picked this one up because we're planning on slowly replacing all of our connectors on the Hilux with these particular Superseal connectors, so it's worth the investment. Basically it works just very similar to a normal crimp tool, but you follow the same steps up until where you crimp it together with the needle nose pliers and just insert it into the tool. You can only insert it one way round, and then that gives you this result. If you need a better video, there's a few on YouTube which explain how to use the tool a lot easier. Now we've got our 3 connectors on, all you have to do is insert it in. They'll only go one way round. If you've got it in the wrong way round, they just won't go past a certain point. The rubber grommet should sit just under flush inside the connector there. Once you've got all 3 connectors in and seated all the way, all you have to do is push this red tab down, and if it should go down easily enough. If it doesn't go down, that means that the connectors inside the actual terminal isn't quite seated properly, so you need to wiggle them around. But once that red tab is down, they'll be locked in and secured. And that is how you put together a Superseal connector.